Hello, welcome to a postcast edition of Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast of your favorite tanking team in the Bay Area. And the Sharks fall 2-1 to the Carolina Hurricanes in a game that was way closer than it should have been. So we're going to have all vibes, no analysis, as we enjoy another step closer to Connor Bedard.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm your host, JD Young, contributor for The Fan and San Jose Hockey Now. Thank you guys for hanging out with me this Friday night. So we're going to, if you're new to the postcast, what we're going to do, going to just kind of all vibes, no analysis. We're going to talk about the Sharks. We're going to talk about the CUDA because I think if you're watching this game right now, you're probably more excited about the CUDA. But let's start with the Sharks game, and then we'll get into the CUDA game. We'll take the medicine first, and then we'll get into the CUDA. So, yeah, the Sharks just absolutely dominated in this game. Where, I mean, they went 13, almost 14 minutes in the second period before they even got a shot on goal. And I talked about in the pregame where, the preview of the only way for the Sharks to even have a chance in this game was to have James Reimer stand on his head. And James Reimer stood on his head tonight, and he was the best Shark out there, and it wasn't even close. Poor James Reimer dying for our sins once again. But, a ton of great saves. We know this is the type of team the Carolina Hurricanes are. They're just going to shoot. They're going to shoot. They're going to shoot. They're shoot. And they did that tonight. They dominated in the shots. I know it's all vibes, no analysis, but 5-on-5, the Sharks had 19 shot attempts to the Carolina Hurricanes 54 shot attempts. Oh my God. The Sharks, they're going to struggle to score this year. And I know the Carolina Hurricanes, they are one of the upper echelon, like top teams, but the Sharks, even their best players couldn't get anything done tonight against the Hurricanes. And this is just how it's going to be this year, unfortunately. But, yeah, James Reimer, we saw this last year, beginning of the year, come out, was literally one of the best goalies in the NHL, and then he wore it down. So hopefully if Kakinen can play and up to standard and they can kind of split the games, Reimer can hopefully last a little bit longer. But oh man, that this team is going to be a tough slog to watch. It's they're going to be tough to watch. So it's just because they just don't have a lot of exciting players. And I talked about this all throughout the offseason. Yes, they got NHL caliber players, but you see what Nico Sturm, cool man. And yes, I know every game isn't going to be against Carolina and stuff, but Nashville is kind of a probably a bubble, probably a playoff team, maybe bubble playoff team, but the Sharks couldn't do anything against that. We're going to see this team struggle to score goals and generate offense, and it's going to have to be a lot of these 2-1 type of games with them. And it's just because they don't have exciting players who are creative right now. And all those players are in the Barracuda, which we will talk about the Barracuda in a little bit. But Nico Sturm, perfectly cromulent fourth line center, but wide open net, misses it. Matt Nieto Matt Nieto had a fine game, but again, it's that's every player, exactly what you're getting out of them. And that's why the ceiling is just the ceiling is and the floor are basically the same because you know exactly what you're getting out of this team. And that's why it's such a slog to watch, because you know that you're not going to be like, oh, maybe this guy could pop or maybe this guy could do something. It's just, you know exactly what everyone's doing. They're like, James Reimer is the only like ceiling guy right now who can like do something. And we saw Reimer tonight just play out of his freaking mind tonight. Again, the Sharks were shot attempts 5-on-5, 19 to 54. The Sharks had 19 shot attempts in the entire game at 5-on-5. In 44 minutes and 24 seconds, they had 19 shots. That's not shots on goal. That is just them taking a shot. Like, bro, like, yeah. So it's going to be a long season. We are currently in first place for the currently in first place for the Bedard race right now. Big game tomorrow with the Blackhawks, who are also going to be right there. So yeah, if you don't get a win, you don't want them to win. You honestly, this draft is too good. I can't stress how good this draft class is. I know it's going to be a long season. Believe me, I am your tank commander. I am here, but there is a prize. Do you like watching Connor Bedard or watching Connor McDavid do stuff? Do you like Sidney Crosby? How would you like to have one of those guys? Because that's what's in the draft right now. And Connor Bedard is freaking special. So I will take loss after loss after loss. I will be your tank commander, get you to the end. Because if you get Connor Bedard or Fantilli, like if you get one of these dudes here and you have Eklund and you have Bordeleau, you've got something to start with right there. So, all right. Before we continue, do want to take a quick break. Talk to you guys about our friends over at BetOnline. You guys know BetOnline, your number one source for all of your betting needs. They've got you covered for football. These fun weekend of football coming up this weekend. Find all your latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, in-depth articles, analysis on every game. As always, BetOnline remains your continuous source for all your sports wager information with live betting, out to the minute scores for every sport out there. They're the fastest and easiest way to check out all your favorite games and events, including you got MLB. Playoffs right now, go Padres, just because I don't like the Dodgers. MMA, boxing, golf, NBA. If you want to bet NBA preseason, they have you covered because you're a crazy person who bets preseason. They have you covered for that. So head to betonline.net or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts. Dakota's here. Dakota's here to talk about the Barracuda right now because that's the only exciting part. And yeah, I'm a little kind of punchy right now. 2 games in a row. I'm still in preseason form here, watching the 2 games back to back. The Barracuda are going to be fun. I know they blew a 3-0 lead. Now, that's fine. It's the first game of the season. You know, new coaching staff, a whole bunch of new guys right now. But the Barracuda are going to be so much fun this year. And we saw it tonight. And Bordeleau, I think Bordeleau is a little ahead of Eklund right now. Believe me, I am the biggest William Eklund fan, but Bordeleau, like Eklund had kind of a quiet game. You saw some of his little flashes here and there, but you know, a little bit quiet game, and that's fine. Like he's not going to come in and just dominate every game, but I think Bordeleau might just be a little hair, just an edge ahead of him right now, and that's fine. Bordeleau, a little bit older, different draft class, whatever. I don't care. They're both fun to watch, but man, can we move Nico Sturm or Matt Bonino to a wing position and let Bordeleau play in the center? Yeah, like he's so much fun to watch. And I know some of the young guys tonight got scratched. Like I know Brennan Coe and Ozzy didn't play tonight. I know right now with the Barracuda, you have a lot more veteran guys in there, but the young guys who are playing, like Tristan Robbins, dude. I don't think we're talking enough about Tristan Robbins. Absolute insane shot tonight, and like he can do that. You give him that little time and space, and he does not need any wind up. He gets that puck off quick. So like Robbins, I think is gonna have a monster year down there, and you see it, just those little things too. Bordeleau, I think I said Christmas for Bordeleau, dude. He may not make it to Thanksgiving. Like he is so good. He's so good. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean the veterans, the Barracuda did a really good job this year of having that veteran players and the young guys. That way you're not having to ask these young guys to kind of step up and kind of take the mantle right away. And these young guys, they'll work more into the lineup. And I would not be expected for, Coe or, Ozzy to be healthy scratches for very, very long. So they'll work their way in there. And, but the young guys who are playing right now they're going to be special. And man, I don't think we can talk about like how Bordeleau, where he's at right now. Again, I said Christmas time. I don't think he makes it to Thanksgiving at this rate, especially if the Sharks are going to continue to be a poo-poo platter on offense. That again, they had 19 shot attempts in 44 minutes. That's putrid. And I know the Carolina Hurricanes are one of literally the best teams in the NHL. Amazing defense. I talked about how they clamp you down on defense and they don't give up much, but you're a professional hockey team, dude, and you get 19 shot attempts at 5-on-5. Oh, fudge. So I don't know. What did you guys think? Let me know. I'll kind of go through here. Kyle says, yeah, Robin's Hood. Yes, Kyle. I should have asked you to come on. Oh well. Sorry. Dakota did show up. Yes. AHL TV. You can watch the Barracuda game for free tomorrow. And I promise you, I know it's kind of expensive, but like the Barracuda are going to be way more fun to watch than the Sharks this year. I'm going to be clipping though, as many games as I possibly can. I'm going to be clipping them. Probably not tomorrow because anyway, but the Barracuda are going to be really fun this year. So, you're failing to remember David Quinn doesn't play kids. He'll go out of his way to bury young players. At some point, like you're going to have to face facts with this team, with the Sharks team. And unless they are on a mission to stealth tank and not tank it the way that we see with the Blackhawks and the Coyotes, where you're literally burning it down to the studs. But at some point, like you just have to realize like Bordeleau and Eklund and, whoever, some of these other guys are just better than the guys that you have on the roster right now. And like, we know David Quinn, he likes his veterans and stuff, but at some point, like his job is to win games and he wants to win games. And if you're losing like 5, 6, 7 potential games in a row, you're going to start to shake things up to try to win games. And if that means going to your hot shot rookie who can maybe inject some life into the team, again, like the Sharks, they play tomorrow against the Blackhawks. Then they start a massive East Coast trip and, against like the Islanders, who are probably a bubble playoff team, the Rangers, who are really good, the Flyers, who are probably going to be bad, but they just beat the Devils the other night. Like this is a big East Coast trip for them. And if you're 1 in like 7 coming out of this East Coast trip and, you don't win any games on this East Coast trip, you're going to have to start looking at different things to try to shake this up. So, what else? Who else has got there? Noah Gregor is no Conor McGregor. No, Noah Gregor go Burr, but Noah Gregor should not be fighting. Yeah. So, poor Noah Gregor. Let's see. I know Tulip Queen was actually at was at the Wild game. Boards looked really good. Eklund has some great IQ placement, even without putting on the score sheet. Yeah, Eklund, he quiet night, but he did a lot of those little things that the coaches like. I know he had a clear that missed clear that led to the tying goal, and you could see him on the on it, or just like he's kind of bent over and they score, and he just like super deflated after the goal. So, one kind of funny thing about the shootout was all the young players. I don't know if you guys didn't see the shootout, but like all the young players are trying their best on like all these kind of crazy moves and stuff. But the ice was just like total chop by then. So all the young kids are trying to do stuff and they couldn't do any of the handles, who like Gushin had like some crazy, like basically almost like stopped, like to the point of like stopping. It was like crazy and just lost the puck. And, kind of Bordeleau and Eklund, the same thing. And then the old crafty veteran, Andre Gazzino, was just like straight down, just as fast as he can to get going, and just shoots it because he knows the ice was just chopped by then. So, yeah. Anyway, so embrace the tank, guys. I promise you. Is it worth being like 10th in the lottery? You win some games and you're kind of in the same spot, or would you rather have like a generational talent type of player on your team? So again, what can be done to make the defense look less terrible? Not sign a bunch of what are you going to do, right? Like, you signed a bunch of third pairing defensemen and Matt Benning, and like Harrington was literally free sitting around. Jacob Megna he should be like your seventh defenseman, and he's playing first pair defense. They just don't have enough talent on there. So you need to play keep away and make your defense not have to do stuff. But unfortunately, the Sharks just don't have enough talented forwards. Like, you need to play offense to make your defense not have to do as much work, right? But the Sharks just don't have it, especially against a team like Carolina, where they can roll out 4 lines that just all make you look stupid. The Sharks just don't have enough talented forwards up there to do that. So, yeah. The Islanders, are we looking at the same team? They're, exactly how the Islanders outshot the Sharks like 45 to like 20 last year. Like, they're better than the Sharks. I don't know. Yeah, they're gonna play a bunch of boring 2-1 type of games, and they have an amazing goalie. So they have an edging goalie. The forward group is probably a wash and probably a slight edge in defense, but they have one of the best goalies. So, yeah. No, Kyle. I believe this this East Coast swing. Okay. Good for you, buddy. Winning $1,000, just one. Good for you. Good for you winning some money. Give the people what they want. I know. I'm sorry. Yeah, Nudavar is injured, and he's played one game in the past season. What do you expect? You expect him? He played one game last year and was hurt the year before. So, yeah. Timo got hurt. Timo was hurt before the game, and then Timo was hurt into this game. It was to the point where they were thinking of bringing up William Eklund at some point to play with Timo. So, and then he got wrecked by a ref in this game. So, yeah. Yes. So it's going to be a long season. It's fine. Okay, we are bigger prize. Eyes on the prize, yes. Yeah, we're gonna have to have a conversation about this soon, about Logan Couture. He might be toast at this point. And again, I know he's had a revolving door of wingers, but he might just be a third line center at this point. Yes. Yeah. We might have to have a conversation about this at some point, just because, again, I talked about it. I presented the argument earlier this summer of let Logan Couture be your 3C and let Bordeleau be your 2C. Let Bordeleau take offensive zone draws. Let Bordeleau do all the fun offensive stuff, and let Couture kind of play these, a reduced role defensive minutes. But let's really quick. I know it's all analysis, but no. Defensive zone starts. Hurdle got the most defensive zone starts tonight. And let's see who got the most offensive zone starts. If you have Nick Bonino and Matt Nieto, Oscar Lindblom taking the most offensive zone starts tonight, you are the winner. They had 4 offensive zone starts tonight. So you are sheltering the Nick Bonino line because whatever reason. Yes. Sheltering the Nick Bonino line by giving them more offensive zone starts. But you have a bunch of defensive forwards like Matt Nieto and Nick Bonino and on that line. So cool. All right. That's going to do it for me tonight. We'll keep these postcasts kind of like 20 minutes or so. Appreciate you guys hanging out. I think it's going to be a long season. That is fine. We have bigger goals. Yes. So thank you guys for hanging out. Probably won't do this tomorrow night. I'm going to be hanging out with the old parentals who are in town right now. So I have a fresh podcast for you guys on Monday. We'll recap, kind of actually dig into the analysis of what happened. So if I do one tonight, we'll see. Maybe I might be kind of buzzed, but who knows? So we'll see. Keep an eye out. Maybe we'll see. Make sure if you guys haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe on YouTube. Listen to podcasts wherever you get podcasts. And till then. Bye, friends.